Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress, and this is your daily dust for Friday, September 15th. If you're watching in real time, but it can also be for whenever you stumble upon it. It's also a timeless reading. September 15th marks the end of Mercury retrograde. Hallelujah. Not that it was such a trialing one for me particularly, but it is nice when the energies don't have to push back so hard and things flow and run really smoothly again, and I look forward to that. And today I'm filming a day ahead of time, so if you're watching on the same day as I'm filming this on the 14th, then we're having a new moon, and you'll feel that energy on the 15th as well, that new moon in Virgo energy. And so it's time to start new things. Be fresh. Actually, if anybody been wanting to enhance their eating regime or whatever, like some kind of habit, make good habits. Let's say if you want to start making good habits, this is a great time to do it, because being in Virgo, it's all about the mundane and health and welfare and good, energy of your body and your mind and your soul. And so in a new moon, it's just beginning again, starting again. And so that's a great time to do new things today, tomorrow, and onward for a couple more days until the moon starts to shift into its other phases, and then it changes into different signs and you have different energies. But while this energy lasts, go ahead and take advantage of it. And so now, that all being said, you could stumble upon this at any time. It is a timeless reading as well. So if you're here on any other day or any other time, just ignore everything I just said, and let's just focus on the messages from the Oracle of the Dragon Fae. It's another lovely deck by Lucy Cavendish, but it's a compilation of artists, multiple artists, and so it's very exciting. There's Jimmy Manton in here, one of my faves. I actually, one time I wrote down every artist that was in here. Let me just, I'm just going to go through them. So a few of the artists is Nicole Cadet, Selena Fennick, one of my favorites, Debbie Lean, Jimmy Manton, another favorite, Kylie McDonough, Raven Phelan, Tony Carmine Salerno, another favorite. And so he only has one in here. In fact, that's the one. All right, so let's see. Let's just look through them real fast. It's really beautiful. I thought Jenna de Gregortolio was in here, but I guess not. See, and there's Jimmy Manton. I can tell his style. I like his realism. Now, this one's different. I also love this one. It's one of my favorites. And Fernie is also a favorite. And Selena Fennick. Let me see who does Fernia. And Gwyneth. Yeah, that's Selena Fennick as well. And Fernia is by Raven Phelan, and her style, this one is a little bit different in style than some of the ones that she does. Mostly they kind of look more like this one, so I can kind of recognize her style. But anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to give it a good shuffle. And so this is going to be just a 3-card collective message, pulling from the middle. And we have Tristan. I think that's one of Raven's artworks. And we have Chimara, another one of Raven's artworks. And which one wants to come out? Both of these want to come out. Well, we'll take Wu Wang is coming out. Wild, Pure, Learn. But I think we'll take the Time Guardian so we can have all the same artists. I believe that's hers as well. Maybe. All right, let's zoom on in and see what we get. Drystan is talking about, or Dristan is talking about looking beneath the surface. Don't be distracted. See behind the act. All of my artifice hides only the truth, which at the moment you do not wish to see. I am always telling you the truth. It is simply that you do not wish to hear. I have always shown you who I truly am. You simply choose not to see. The clues have been strewn about you, but you've decided not to notice their presence. I can draw people into actions that reveal their shadows, and for that, they condemn me. My kitty jumped on my lap. Oh, I'm ready for hugs and kisses. But I have been their teacher, for they then know the whole of themselves and thus have compassion for others. Some have wanted me to be an angel, when I have never been of the heavens and never claimed to be. I am illusions, but most of all, I am your illusion. Look beyond, take off my mask, and decide to acknowledge the truth about the circumstances which you find within yourself. And know that although you may say I have done you wrong, I have taught you to follow your guidance. This is very interesting. So this Dragon Fae being is a bad boy. He's the cheat, the hustler, and the fool who charms his way into your world and then lets you down in spectacular fashion. A lord of the court, he is political, charming, clever, majestic, and in many ways a rogue. And the truth is, you always knew there was something dodgy about this situation or this promise, because he is being so very truthful when he said he had told you all along. So while he is manipulative and deceitful, strangely, he's honest about it. And there is a glamour here that is nearly irresistible. He is showbiz and glittering lies that cast a spell, then leave us without anything of substance. And yet he does not leave us empty-handed, for there is a lesson here that once heeded need never be experienced again, and he need not be blamed for it either, for he is the fantasy that we all seek, the illusory nature of our desires. That's interesting. In some cases, if we let ourselves be duped, it's some part of us that wanted it. We wanted to believe that somebody was something, but they weren't. So be aware of that. Be aware of the social media of it all as well. Be aware of ads and people coming at you, especially. These couple of years are going to be real trying in that way, I think. So sometimes I feel like the best medicine for us as a collective is to take plenty of time as much as we can, to do more things away from our devices and our electronics. Because I feel there's this whole hypnotic thing that's happening. There's a drawing us in to something, and we need to pull ourselves away from it and connect with the natural things again as much as possible. At least, try to make a ratio in your week of more natural things than the unnatural things of computers and TVs and those kinds of things. See, the other thing is, now that Mercury's going to go direct, those kinds of things will actually work better. And because your electronics won't be as frustrating to deal with, you may be more inclined to use them a little bit more. During Mercury retrograde, it was sort of a freedom to when things went wrong, we're like, forget it. I'm not even going to bother with the TV today, or I'm not even going to bother with my computer today because I just want to, I don't want to mess with it. I'll just go to the beach instead. You make those kind of choices where you opt for a book, instead of a YouTube video or something like that. I feel like you're still allowed to do that. Try to balance those energies, and be very careful about what people are trying to tell you. Sometimes it's truth, but it's like truth mixed with dishonesty, or sometimes this truth is spoken in jest. Have you ever heard that? And sometimes I feel like there's people joking, but they're not laughing. They're joking but not laughing, and so people believe them. Have you had that feeling happen to you? Or when people are being sarcastic but you can't tell? That happens a lot. I feel like there's just going to be, in this sort of shifting period, there is a little bit of post-shadow phase with the Mercury retrograde. So just be aware, during this shifting period, you're going to come across some information that still seems a little sketchy, okay? So just take everything with a grain of salt. And tomorrow is Web of Life. And these both are by Raven Phelan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Ravine? I think it's Raven. Raven, but spelt very differently. Phelan. Anyway, so tomorrow is the Web of All Life. Beyond the mask, here's two masked people, okay? Beyond the mask we all wear of identity, beyond the construct who we have been conditioned to believe we are lies. Okay, I'm going to say this different. And I'm getting stumbled because I'm hearing all these other messages coming through. It's like, you can't read because you have to say the messages. So it's interesting, like I already touched base on the social media thing. And if you ever notice Facebook, partly I think why it's named Facebook, it's the face, the facade, it's like, like, don't judge a book by its cover, but this is judging the book by its cover, basically, is what Facebook is. It's what you see on the surface. At least that's the way I've always treated it. I've treated it like what I want you to see, but I don't want you to see any deeper into me than what I'm presenting to you. But now I don't really care. Now I don't worry about that anymore. But when I first started Facebook, it was that. It was about a facade, And anyway, so beyond the mask we all wear of identity, beyond the construct of who we have been conditioned to believe we are, lies your face, yourself. This face is tender and new in so many ways, as you have not shown her to the world before. This face has been protected because the world has seemed and proved, indeed, at times, to be dangerous and an unkind place, where those of us who feel different are proved to be so as we brave the taunts and finger-pointing. But I now tell you that your protections, your armor, and your shield can be removed safely with me. Do not discard her, as you may need her yet in certain situations, but know now she is your armor, and her role is to protect your true being. To you I now reveal myself. See, many have recoiled in horror at who I truly am. I am Dragon Fae Maiden, a spider woman, a being of webs and change and destruction and recreation. Each day I must remake my world. I feel along its sensory threads to see what needs reconstruction and what needs to be let go of. For I am, as you are, part of the new web of life, a web of life that embraces our differences and yet understands that we are one. I ask you today to look at the webs in your life that must be remade and rewoven. This is very shadow side stuff here, and it's funny because I am a light worker and most of my readings are very light infused love energy, but those, just like this really lovely rain we're having today. The sun doesn't seem quite as bright when you don't have this contrasting rain. And for some reason, this rain seems more dark than usual because we haven't had much rain. So it's just like the shadiness of the sky, you know, the lack of sun, the coolness in the air makes things feel real different. It feels very transitional. So the other thing that came to mind is when I was reading The Secret, a book I highly recommend for everybody to read. And if you're not really into books, then they have it in movie form too, which is almost as helpful. There is a section of the book that was really meaningful to me. It's about this man who had some kind of job, very frustrated, not necessarily because of the work he was doing, but because the people he was working with, they were coming at him from all directions, it seemed. You know, they were criticizing, judging him, talking under their breath, gossiping, and all of that. And that was the one thing he wished he could change at that moment in his life, because it just made him unhappy and uncomfortable. Stuff like that always made him want to change jobs and do something else. And so he stumbled upon a person, it might have been the lady who wrote the book, but I think he did. I think he stumbled upon her, and she told him the secret. And she told him how to manifest the whole opposite scenario. If what you want in your life is that people treat you fairly, kindly, with honesty, respect, with dignity, with good humor, with the benefit of the doubt, all these good things that we're wanting other people to treat us with, without judgment, one of my favorite word is magnanimously. Being magnanimous is like just instantly forgiving of all your sins because you're freaking human. You know, we're all living this life, learning stuff. Nobody has it. You know, we're all got things that will challenge us, even the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor, and every shade and color, and everybody's got their stuff, you know. And it does seem sometimes that maybe some people have it easier than us, but you know, to be honest, we all go through different things. And so I feel like I approach things in a very magnanimous way. I don't know why I can't say it. And so if you want to attract that kind of attitude from people, like, you know, just a very generous and open spirit, well, you can manifest that. And so the man was talking to the author, and she was telling him what to do, how to manifest, how to just visualize this, see this as your life, see this as how the people are behaving. And what happened was kind of interesting. There were some people that actually quit, the people that he just didn't want to be with, and they ended up finding good jobs. It's like, you don't have to wish for you shouldn't wish for anything bad to happen to someone. All you should wish for is something good to happen to you for the best of everyone concerned. And these people found better jobs and they moved on, and that was a couple of people that were giving him problems that weren't there anymore. And then the rest of the people that were around him started to have a little shift in attitude and just a little bit nicer and chiller and more relaxed, and everybody started to get along really great. And so that's another way you can use manifesting. You don't have to just manifest a car or money or a love in your life. You can manifest your day every day, the people around you. It doesn't have to be a precondition, like, I must suffer through these people every day. You don't have to suffer with these people. There's lots that you can do visualizing and using your manifestation ability to create a happier environment. And so I think sometimes the shadow side is what teaches us these things. When we see that for what it is, we realize, I've been putting up with this. I know there's got to be a different way. And then you find the solutions. So the time guardian is talking about that you have time, and time is on your side, and also time is of the essence, and time, it's like divine time, and it's the right time, especially with new moon in Virgo, for those of you who are in real time, and also for the Mercury going direct and everything sort of aligning differently. The timing might be getting better for manifesting things that you want into your life. Let's see more about this guy. The Time Guardian is also by Raven, so I'm glad that we did that. It kept it with the same artist. So this artist is speaking to us through her images, and of course Lucy is speaking to us through her words, and then I'm channeling additional messages here. So the Time Guardian is talking about that you have time, that the feelings you have of time contracting and expanding are real insights, not simply your imagination. Time is a living dimensional being. I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes during Mercury retrograde, things seem to be slower, just seem to take longer. And then when it goes direct, it seems to speed up, or like this week may be feeling like it's speeding faster or something. But time is that dimension that has power, and the powers include the ability to devote more time to those of us who require it, and for time to speed up or slow down when it may be necessary too. It is in this way that we are able to divine and travel through the threads and weavings of time and move forward into seeing our future. In truth, we are already there, and much of who we truly are remains an echo. The time beings of Dragon Fae, of whom I am one, know this. They guard and protect you from confusion. Similarly, they can assist you when you require time to be created. If you feel you are short of time, send a thought message to me, the guardian of time, and I will send you all the help you need to meet your goals within the time you feel you have. That's an interesting thing too. Like I mentioned the other day, like some people are workaholics, or they overbook themselves. They schedule too many things in the day. But what if instead of not scheduling too many things, you keep your schedule, but you manifest more time? You manifest the ability to do it all in one day. Kind of like taking that pill that what's in that movie? Limitless. So I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you haven't, check it out. It's kind of interesting. It just puts things into perspective, and it makes you think, what if I had all the time in the world to do something? What would you do? Sometimes I think that too, like when I watched the vampire movies, the Twilight movies, and Edward was playing the piano, and he's like, I've had a lot of time to practice. And I think, you know what, if I had if I never died, I would definitely, make sure I knew how to play the piano and all kinds of instruments for sure. But that's different, that is immortal, which is also something to consider and think about and talk about at times. But now we're talking about this kind of being able to create your time. And I feel like sometimes people are just so eager to get to the weekend, for instance, because they want their days off, that they actually try to make the week go faster in their minds. You can kind of sense that. Or if you're looking up at the clock, you want to see it go faster. It's just a funny kind of notion, although that doesn't seem to usually work. It usually seems to go slower when you're looking up at the time. Guess when time goes fast? Time flies when you're having fun. I remember when I was a little kid and I was hanging out with my cousin and playing Barbies, and it was time to go, and I'm like, "Aw," and my mom would say, "Time flies when you're having fun." And that was the first time that actually kind of hit me, and I was like, that is so true. It is true. So have fun if you want to go faster. But But there are ways too. You can slow it down so you can get more work done in the day. All you have to do is simply say, I'm going to have plenty of time to get everything that I need to get done today. And or talk to this time guardian dragon. I think this dragon is here to help you. Because they're saying that time is available to work for you and with you. You need only tune into it as a dimensional reality and connect with the time beings. Call upon me to create the time you need, and call upon me when you wish to speed up time too. Traveling will take a shorter time. Time will expand to assist you and meet the deadlines for pressing tasks. And arriving on time will be perfectly simple and easy, no matter the apparent obstacles. Above all, know that you are a timeless being. Know that you are dimensionally vast, that you are protected, cherished, and loved by the Time Guardian. From this time forth, you will become the time traveler you were born to be. That is part of all your inheritance. I've tapped into a lot of interesting time videos and playing around with the concept, and I think that could be something fun for you as the collective to get into if you want to. Depends on who you are. Not everybody's interested in that, but I am hugely interested in time travel and movies having to do with time. I don't know, Somewhere in Time is I think one of my all-time favorite movies, next to Sound of Music and Star Wars movies. I love all the romantic movies that have to do with time travel, like Time Traveler's Wife. They all really speak to me. So maybe this is the kind of day, if it's rainy and you don't have a lot to do and you just want to relax, pop in a good time traveler movie. There's a bunch of them. If you're interested, you can comment below if you want me to give you some other suggestions. So the Time Guardian, this Dragon Fey Lord, he's the keeper of time. He arranges and rearranges things. So if you need him, just call on him. If you feel pushed for time, or that it's moving too fast or too slow, or feeling left behind, it's likely that you may have that theme of running late in your life or never having enough time to get everything done. And that's not so. It's not so. You are going to fix this with your mind now. So nothing would make you happier than to start to greet the sunrise and enjoy the sunset, to diminish and dampen the unnatural sources of light in your home that give the appearance of a uniformity of time. Time changes, flows, and moves as you interact with it. Rather than entering into a struggle against it, grow closer to a natural time. Give yourself a watch-free day soon, and begin to understand what time it is from a solar position, the moon cycle, and how you feel. And like I said, this new moon, this is a different kind of time energy right now. It will help maintain abundance of energy, and it also means that you will be in flow, making it impossible for you to be late to what it is you're meant to be doing. What it is you're meant to be doing is so esoteric. I don't know. Sometimes in the middle of all these fluffy, light, quick readings, we have this deep, long, heavy reading. So I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was a little bit long. I think it's an interesting message about a variety of things. One is being aware of the people around you and social media and things like that. Two, don't worry about them so much, because you have the power to manifest the good people around you. And three, the time, there's the timing issue that came from the first card, where there's two things that I felt about the phone, like separating yourself away from social media and the phone. They could be very connected, like giving yourself more time. In other words, not relying on a schedule someday. Just don't even have a schedule one day. Be schedule free. Don't follow a clock one day. don't follow social media. Just kind of like, it almost feels a little off grid. In other words, you can call it whatever you want to, but just being kind of natural, like an animal is natural, primal. And another thing you may be feeling is that the days are growing shorter as far as the light is concerned. And I notice I grumble a little bit because I like the light to make my videos. And I want as much light as I can during the day so I can work and do all my videos and have the natural light all day long. But there's also other options, and it's not entirely important all the time. And sometimes it's just nice to have a low light. I don't know. What do you think? I'm not going to turn up the contrast in this video too much, and this is going to be kind of like the resting day for our eyes and our souls, the day that we ponder a bit, and then we'll get back to the regular scheduled and program already in progress. Anyway, I hope you like that. Faith, Justin, Pixie Dust.